Yeah, I got it on mute for the moment. Just All right, now that we're away from the music, this is a bit of a turnout. Live reporting on the Michael Garza Show. There we go. I mean, look, people can believe what they want to believe, but the Democrat alternative is, first off, democracy on the federal level doesn't exist. We're a constitutional republic. That's the biggest thing that people need to realize. But at the same time, I mean, you see all these protesters. I'm a bro-tester. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty much what you're getting. Pretty much old people. That's the best part about this. I think it's just old people looking for something to do. I've not seen any young people whatsoever. And that's the funniest part about this. I think all the young people are in Portland right now trying to stop ICE or something, but, you know. Just the observer right now. So we got Vance 2828 in the poll. 50% of you say yes, 50% of you say no. We got a 50-50 split here. I'll get on the camera real quick. So behind me are the protesters. Behind me right here. But that's what you see is what you get, man. This is what you. The no kangs, dude. No kangs. I'm glad I didn't bring my my mega hat though, because they would have fucking tried to kill me. They would have tried to hurt me, man. It's because the minute you disagree with them, it's it's full out you're gonna get mobbed by people. And this is one of the things, man. I'm not trying to put a separation or a divider. I'm just saying that this seems to be the common thing. Last time when I wore my mega hat, for instance, I was targeted by a couple punks, and luckily the older people were actually pretty nicer to me, a lot nicer. So I'll give props to the older people for being nice. Some of them were kind of dicks though, but that's okay. The younger people though, man, they're just so radicalized that they think that anybody who disagrees with them is their enemy, and that's not true. People who disagree with people, that's just a thing. That's just a fact of life. Nobody is going to see things exactly the way that you see them, and that's the beauty. But once people start justifying violence, once people start calling you fascist, people don't call me fascist because I am one. People call me fascist so they have an excuse to hurt me. And if anybody calls you fascist and you're not doing anything fascist, here's the thing. The only thing you're guilty of is disagreeing with them, and that's about it. Doesn't mean you're a fascist. But let's get back to, I'll just keep doing some commentary over here. But yeah, as we walk along the tracks, I'll walk a lonely road. But yeah, I mean, let's see what some of these signs say. Let's see, according to Fox News, I'm Antifa, beware. Let's see, we got, a T-Rex, dude, T-Rex. Let's see, it says, woke fascism extinct. Let's see. Oh, okay. That's an interesting, that's a cool T-Rex costume. Woke fascism extinct, but oh wait, make facts. Okay, I thought it said woke for a second. Make fascism extinct. All right, it is extinct. I mean, the three branches of government make it to where nobody can technically be a tyrant anyway. So it's even though people hate Donald Trump, the three branches of government prevent that from happening. But at the moment, we're just observing all the stuff right here. I try to stay away from a lot of these people, though, as a lot of these people would rather harm me and stuff. So, but yeah, this is pretty much what you're gonna get. And I mean, I'll probably put it on mute when I get next to the music and stuff, so that way I could rap about my love of Joe Biden. It's funny. Nobody ever talks about the atrocities of Biden, but they're totally fine about talking. It's just a one-sided thing. It just depends on the messenger. Got some people honking. Yeah, I gotta leave here in a little bit. I got my mom's early birthday celebration. But I mean, this is what you're gonna get, man. This is what you're gonna get. You know, you get a lot of I call them protesters. And look, there's a lot of. It's usually just a lot of old people just kind of looking for something to do at the end of the day. And yeah, it's the way I feel about this, man. It's just like, oh, the T-Rex, dude. That T-Rex voted for Biden. That T-Rex definitely voted for Biden, dude. Well, I'm glad the T-Rex voted for Biden at least. That is a Biden voter right there. That's that. But hey, I appreciate it, man. I love Joe Biden too, dude. Joe Biden, 2028. Biden, 2028. Biden Harris 2028, dude. Biden Harris 2028. Biden. Hey, I say Joe, you say. I say Joe, you say. The man, dude, Biden. I say Joe, you say Biden. I say Joe, you say. No Biden lovers, dude. No love for Biden. There's no loyalty in the game. There's no loyalty in the game, dude. He may have been the worst president of all time, but he's still he's my favorite. I'm a man torn between two worlds. I love Biden and I love Trump. Torn between many worlds. One of my favorite quotes is, you know, they won't call you fascist because you are one. They call you fascist so they have an excuse to harm you. And that's what these people do. But, you know, that's the way I feel about it. It's just an opinion. You know, at the end of the day, I'm here peaceful counter-protesting for the most part by loving Joe Biden. Because everybody forgot about their love of Joe, dude. Nobody loves Joe Biden anymore. Why doesn't anybody love Joe Biden? Everybody disloyal, dude. All y'all is disloyal to Biden. You don't love Biden the way I do. Nobody loves Biden the way I do. He's my president. Joe Biden is my POTUS, my GOATUS, the GOAT. Jimmy Joe Biden all day long. I heard you wanted me to stay, but I can't ignore my hazy visions of me in Coos Bay. I heard that there's a sexy place where brony boys and girls like me can fap every single day. I'm having wicked dreams of creaming in Tennessee. Oh, Santa Monica, you've been so bad to me. What make Joe Biden proud? It's gonna cause a scene. He sees his brony boy. I know he's gonna scream, God, what have you done? You're a pink brony bro. And you're dancing at the Bachelor's Inn. Oh no, I'm just having fun on the stage with my hooves. I'm wearing a man thong down at the Pink Brony Club. I'm gonna keep on clapping at the Pink Brony Club. I'm gonna keep on fapping down in West Hollywood. I'm gonna keep on clapping at the Pink Brony Club. Pink Brony Club. And I'm up and my balls are on the floor. Everybody's looking at me, calling me a whore. But I heard that there's a nasty place. Everybody's in the bathroom getting cocaine on their face. Ah, man. It's good stuff, man. Oh, dude, the Kangs, dude, the Kangs. I'm a brony. Bronies for Biden, dude. Bronies for Biden. Bronies for Biden, dude. Bronies for Biden. Give me the bronies for Biden, baby. Woo! These are my favorite Biden voters, dude. Everybody here. I think we're really here for Biden more than anything, because we miss him. We want him back. We want Biden-Harris back. As all the brony brothers, we say, let's get Joe Biden back, dude. I'm a brony brother. I know that I'm a man. I'm actually pretty far away from everybody. I'm relatively far away. I'm just like videotaping. Brony Biden makes me happy. Yeah, I'm not going to be here for too long. I just figured I would come down, see if my buddy's here. My buddy TJ. I wonder if my buddy TJ made it down, though. Yeah, a lot of these people are, I don't know. I don't think anybody's really making anything better here. They're just complaining. I guess this is the most live reporting I got. I wonder what's going on in Portland right now. Hey, I'm talking about my love of Joe Biden. I'm a man caught between two worlds, man. I'm Trump sexual and I'm Biden sexual. I can't help myself, dude. I'm a freak. I'm a brony though, dude. Of course I'm a freak. I'm a brony brother, dude. Brony brothers, man. I don't know. I mean, these people are out because, they got nothing better to do on I got nothing better to do on a Saturday at the moment, but I do have to go to my mom's birthday party here in a little bit. I definitely want to go to that. I'd rather be at my mom's birthday party than doing this. But hey, it's fun. I enjoy. This is just live reporting, really, and me rapping about my love of Joe Biden. I mean, these people love absurd things like communism and socialism, so I love absurd things like Joe Biden. That's the way I look at it. But, on the federal level, we're not a democracy. That's what I hate. Is honestly, democracy on the state level makes sense, but democracy on the federal level doesn't make sense. And the reason for that is because on the federal level, you don't want democracy. Because a democracy on a centralized power turns to authoritarianism very quickly. And also, people think they're so right all the time when they're in a group. So that's why I don't participate in groups. I'm an anti-groups kind of guy. I'm pretty independent. I'm just like, nah, I'm good. No groups for daddy. But I do appreciate people getting together, doing what they believe in. I actually appreciate these people. They're believing what they believe in. And the irony is I actually don't want to shut anybody up, but I do want to rap, though. I want to rap about my love of Joe Biden at the end of the day. I think here's the thing. If people think that the federal government's a democracy, though, they don't understand the government, because we are a constitutional republic. At the end of the day, a representative constitutional republic, I might add. So people thinking that on the federal level we're a democracy is ludicrous. We're a representative constitutional republic at the federal level. So if anybody says we're a democracy on the federal level, they're factually inaccurate. Now, on the state level, yes. State level, we are a democracy, but not on the federal level. So when people say democracy dies in darkness, it's like, no. There's no democracy on the federal level, period. That's what I'm trying to get at. Now, I'm going to sit on this rock over here. Get out of the limelight for a bit. I think my problem is not with... I don't have any problem with these people protesting. The irony is I'm just a counter-protester because I think... I'm not calling anybody... By the way, I'm not calling anybody here a terrorist. That's not the... I'm not calling anybody. You could be against a president and not be... It's fine. That's the point. But there are groups, I got to admit, man, there are pretty questionable groups out there. Like, I do believe Antifa as a decentralized group is a lot like Project Mayhem from Fight Club, dude. That's how I see it, at least. Dude, Eagle, can you look past your... But I love you, brother, but you're being a little too hyperbolic about this. First off, I'm not here harassing anybody. I'm literally standing on the train tracks rapping about Biden, all right? I'm rapping about my love of Joe Biden. If that is a bad... I love you, brother, but if me rapping about my love of Joe Biden, while it is trolling, obviously, is not... I'm not harassing anybody. If anything, every time I come here... Last time I came here with a MAGA hat, that they harassed me. So, and I didn't even do anything to anybody, and yeah. By the way, no, they're not... If they all believe in democracy, they're not representing the republic, because we are not a democracy at the public level. Sorry, at the federal level. We're just not. And I hate it when everybody's saying, we got to save the democracy. There is no democracy to be saved, because at the federal level, we are a constitutional representative republic. That's what we are. And I hate it when people say we're a democracy at the federal level. We're not. I'm sorry to burst people's bubbles. We are not a democracy on the federal level. We are on the state level, yes, but not on the, for the most part, we are on the state level. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know what I'm not even against any of these people. I'm just here, honestly, I'm a counter-protester, but that doesn't mean I'm trying to shut anybody up. Yeah, but at the end of the day, though, it is the representative's choice to enact things. Here's the thing. Change needs to happen slowly. That's what our founding fathers realized. The problem with democracy is change happens too rapidly. And when change happens too rapidly, things get very convoluted. Human beings are not good at enacting change quickly. In fact, we're pretty bad at it. Dude, Eagle, how am I harassing anybody, brother? There is zero harassment. I'm rapping about my love of Joe Biden, and I'm standing on the train tracks. If me rapping about my love of Joe Biden is harassing people, then, dude, you have a very convoluted look on harassing people. I'm sorry, brother. Your look on harassment is way too convoluted. If me rapping about my love of Joe Biden is harassment, it's not. It's not. I love Joe Biden. I think he's a man. Yeah, what I'm saying is that they actually, I'm saying that anybody here who believes that the federal government's a democracy doesn't understand how the federal government works. It's a constitutional it's a representative constitutional republic, okay? I'm not saying that they're terrible people. I'm saying that, just like you always say, uneducated. Dude, Eagle, just because you're mad at me doesn't mean you're right. You could be mad at me all day. It doesn't mean you're right. Dude, I'm not out here attacking anybody. That's ridiculous, brother. That's ridiculous. If I was first off, they're exercising they're expressing themselves out here. I'm expressing myself out here. There is no harassment going on. Both sides are being very peaceful. I'm being very peaceful. I'm not even looking at anybody when I'm rapping about Joe Biden. I'm usually looking towards the sky. It's performative art. All right. I obviously know that we're a constitutional representative republic, and obviously democracy doesn't exist on the federal level. How am I attacking anybody else's ideas? I'm literally rapping about Joe Biden. I'm sorry, dude. This is the most delusional conversation I've ever had in my life. Seriously, me rapping about Joe Biden is not in loving Joe Biden, even though it's troll job, obviously. Look, it's called counter-protest, dude. It's the art of counter-protest. If you think that what people are protesting is dumb, I'm not going to shut them up. I'm actually presenting most of my ideas. For example, democratic socialism is a stupid idea, and people who believe in it, it's just proven to be it just turns to authoritarianism every time. Read history. I honestly am not attacking any ideas. And by the way, I could say this. I could say the inverse. People are attacking my ideas. Hey, if people get offended, they get offended. If people get offended about me rapping about my love of Joe Biden, that's their problem. That's their problem at the end of the day. If they are that thin-skinned, I'm not the problem, they are. The proof is trolling exposes people for who they are. Nah, my boy Eagle is my buddy, but I appreciate his passion. I appreciate my buddy's passion, but he's wrong. If I want to, I can. They're doing their First Amendment. I'm doing my First Amendment. I'm not. Am I trying to shut anybody up? Who am I trying to shut up here? Like, tell me, who have I tried to? What sort of fascist actions have I taken? None. Because I'm here rapping about my love of Joe Biden. I love trolling, dude, honestly, and I think a lot of these people, are misguided. I'm a counter-protester at the end of the day. I'm a contrarian at nature. I am naturally a contrarian. Now, I don't think that what Democrats want is the answer. I think what Democrats want is actually a bad idea. I think democratic socialism will eventually lead to authoritarianism very quickly, just like any other country. Why am I obsessed with Joe Biden, dude? I just think it's funny. Look, I do things for the comedy, man. I'm a comedian deep down. I'm not really a protester at the end of the day. I'm a comedian, and but I'm not a leftist in any way, shape, or form. I think it's embarrassing at this point because they believe that on the federal level it's a democracy, which is stupid. We're a constitutional representative republic, and yeah. Dude, I don't know, dude. Here's the thing for me. I like Trump, but I'm not like diehard MAGA, dude. Dude, I'm not gonna. You can accuse me of whatever you want. I know who I am at the end of the day, and that's it. I know who I am. I'm a comedian at heart, and I really do enjoy doing this. I don't actually, like, these people are being nice. I'm not even gonna vilify anybody. These people are being very kind. But at the same time, it's like I am protesting. I'm a counter-protester. Counter-protesting is a thing. And yeah, I am counter-protesting because here's the thing. I'm not the biggest fan of Trump in the world. I think there's some things that he does that are too dumb. But at the end of the day, I'm also not a fan of the Democrats. I think the Democrats have lost their way completely. I think that the Democratic Party has completely lost their way, and they're never going to get my vote. Absolutely not. Conservative parties lost their way too. Yeah, I'm not trying. Here's the thing. I'm not trying to get anybody. Look, if people get riled up, that's on them. All right. I'm not doing anything. I'm not even doing anything bad. Literally, I am just talking about my love of Joe Biden. Actually, he didn't call. He called the group Antifa. He called them a terrorist, not individual. So, like, if you're an individual who doesn't like, if you don't like fascism, that's great. If you are anti-fascist, that's different than being a part of the group Antifa. It's totally different. And Antifa is a group, by the way. And look, I'm not here saying that everything that Trump is doing is right. I'm just saying that I just think that the Democratic Party's lost their way, and that's my observer. That's my analysis. And yeah, look, there's a lot of old people here. How many young people do you see here? Like, legitimately? But like, yeah, this is just honestly. But look, I'm not telling people they can't do this. Like, the irony is I'm actually being very, while I love rapping about Joe Biden, don't get me wrong, I haven't actually said anything negative to anybody. I haven't called anybody out. I literally just don't like, first off, I think groups are a bad idea. I think when people get into groups, they start inducing chaos. The larger a group gets, the more chaotic it gets. I don't know if anybody's ever watched Fight Club before, but honestly, something like this can eventually turn into a Project Mayhem sort of scenario, just like in Fight Club. Yeah, groupthink. Here's the thing. I'm not a fan of group thinking. And honestly, like, here's the thing. I don't even go to the Trump ones. In fact, I've gone to more anti-Trump ones than pro-Trump ones. So in a lot of ways, I'm more on the Eagle side than anything, unfortunately. No, just kidding. No, like, I honestly am not trying to shut anybody up. How am I, like, if I was a fascist, let's just do a thought experiment here real quick. Thought experiment. If I was a fascist, wouldn't I be trying to censor these people? Wouldn't I be trying to... I'm not doing anything. And I have to admit, these people are being very nice. I think I look like a soy boy, though, so I think they think I'm one of them, but I'm really not at the end of the day. And, yeah, I look like a pussy. I look like a giant pussy, but that's what I'm trying to say. I blend in too well. Oh yeah, maybe people would be mad. I don't know. People would probably be mad. They'd probably be, yeah, that's why I hate groups. I don't like it when groups, I think when people get together in groups, I don't care whether it's leftists or rightists, whatever you want to call it. I really don't, I think groups are bad for the most part. And I don't know. I mean, protest is protest. If people think that they're making a difference, good for them. But I don't know, man. But, I mean, the best thing I could do is expose the ludicrousy if there is any. And if there isn't, that's great. But what I'm really exposing is bad ideas. I think socialism and communism are bad ideas, and they've plagued the Democratic Party for far too long. And it's gotten to the point where nobody wants to vote Democrat because they think that they're going to get a bullshit socialist regime. One of the reasons the Democratic Party's become so unpopular is very simple. People are done with it. The reason that most people voted for Trump across the country is because they saw just how detrimental the Democratic Party is. And they're like, well, shit, if we're going to choose one hell over the other, let's choose the one hell that at least, I don't know, doesn't make us feel like we're going to live in a communist hellhole with open borders, And the thing is, man, whether people realize it or not, Biden had a very deep open border policy. That was a huge deal. Like, that was a very huge deal, dude. But nobody wants to talk about the hypocrisy of Joe Biden. Look, and you know what the irony was? All the mainstream media outlets covered for Joe Biden so much. They even hid the fact that he had some. Well, I'm not going to say exactly, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. Look up seriously. Look up the atrocities of Joe Biden. It's out there. And here's the thing, man. The irony was, I don't even know if Joe Biden knew what he was doing. But at the end of the day, man, the problem, here's the thing. These people, I don't know what they believe in, but I can make a couple assumptions here, okay? You can make a couple of assumptions. And I'm not saying you should act on assumptions, ever. But you can think critically about this. How much do you want to bet most of these people believe that communism and socialism are good ideas? Now, they have a right to believe they're good ideas, every bout of it. And I'm not going to stop them from believing it. But what I'm protesting is bad ideas. If they want to protest Trump, I get it. I understand why people don't like Trump. I'm just saying that most of the people who are out here are probably into socialism and into communism. And I'm not trying to educate them. I know I can't change their ways. But what I want to do is I want to expose, it's just like a documentary, I want to expose socialist communist behavior. That's what I want to expose, is socialist communist behavior. And at the end of the day, it's people getting into groups. It's people who, I mean, look, I'm glad they believe in what they believe in. I think it's fantastic. I want people to do this. But it's great because when people get out in public, you can expose a group for what they are. And yeah, these guys are peaceful. They're peaceful people with bad ideas. By the way, Eagle, I'm going to poke a hole in your logic there. Do you know one of the reasons why college tuition is so high? It's because the government got involved and was giving loans to basically everybody. right? So when the government intervenes and when I honestly, I hate student loans, because if student loans didn't exist and if the federal government didn't intervene, college tuition would be so much more affordable. The problem was whenever the government intervenes, this is why I hate big federal government. I want federal government to be small, all right? Small federal government, less problems. But here's the thing. The reason college tuition is so high, if you look at the statistics, it's because the federal government got involved back in the day. It's because you can give a loan out for student loans. And then what colleges realized is they could overpay their professors and just make college tuition go through the roof, because they know that students would be dumb enough to sign out these loans and also for the federal government to give them out. The problem is the federal government incentivizes inflation of prices. Look at, I mean, doesn't that make sense? Come on. Yeah, but here's the thing. You know, what do you do then? My thing is, and I'm not anti-college per se, I'm just anti-high tuition is really what it is. I'm anti-high tuition. If you want to get rid of the tuition problem, here's the thing. If everybody stopped going to college for a bit, they would force them to lower the tuition so that way people could get in. Sure, would the professors have to take a pay cut? Absolutely. But it would make college tuition more affordable. And, you know, that's the catch-22. Because those loans, honestly, are the most, I think student loans are the most predatory thing in the world. But also the federal government giving out money for people to go to college, I'm not too sure if that's a good idea either, you know? Yeah, and also you could say the same thing about health insurance making medical costs even more expensive. Here's the thing, I hate the federal government with a passion. We started out with four, what was it? What do you call those? Well, the founding of the nation, we started out with four federal agencies. Yeah, that's the term. We started out with 4 federal agencies, right? And then what happened afterwards? Now we have like up to what, 4,000, 5,000 federal agencies? I mean, there's got to come a point where you say there's too much federal influence in the overall world. And then look, we have a federal government shutdown right now. It's just the whole situation's messed up. The federal government's very flimsy. Don't want the federal government to have that much power. Now, I'm not saying we should live in an oligarchy either. I'm saying there's got to be a certain counterbalance. And you know, it's just like, I don't know. I just hate federal government because only incompetent, terrible people get into federal government. And I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna say the same thing about Trump. I don't think Trump's necessarily a good dude. I think the dude has some skeletons in his closet for sure. But at the same time, I think most politicians do, and I can't stand career politicians either. Here's the thing, I'm just not a fan of big federal government at the end of the day. And here's the thing, I notice that these people want big federal government. I don't. I want small federal government. I think small federal government's the way to go. Here's the thing, I like Trump, but I don't want him to have that much power either. But when you have so many federal agencies, I think it's good to shut some of the federal agencies down. I'm sure that we could shut half of these incompetent federal agencies down and the world would be a better place. Because one thing our founding fathers realized, if you notice, read some of the documents, democracy is not listed anywhere. Democracy is not listed anywhere because they understood how bad of an idea democracy was. At least at the state level, democracy is fine, but when it comes to a concentrated federal level, democracy is a terrible idea. Democracy is a bad idea at a federal level. And I'm speaking some truth here. Look at any country that has a big federal government and that act on as a democracy, right? It turns to authoritarianism very quickly. In fact, if you want a king, the best way to get a king is to have a democracy. That leads to kings. Donald Trump is a symptom, he's not the cause. I repeat, Donald Trump is a symptom, not the cause. And that's what I'm trying to get at. I'm not out here telling these people that they're bad. I'm actually out here, I want to encourage these people. I actually want to encourage these people to believe what they believe. But I'm also out here to say, I think you're wrong. I mean, I kind of agree with them a little bit on Trump, I'm not going to lie. I do believe that he has overreach. I do believe overreach has happened. I will grant you guys that. Overreach has happened. I do believe that the Supreme Court needs to intervene on some of these things. I'm not a big fan of ICE being everywhere. I'll admit that. I agree with some of these people. I'm not out to find common ground, though. Common ground is boring. If we all look for common ground, we're going to be bored out of our fucking minds. What we need to understand is our differences. And I'm not saying attack people for their differences, no. I'm saying embrace people for their differences. I actually embrace these people. I may intellectually disagree with them, but I actually like these people. These people are nice. These people have been nothing, even though I've been an annoying, loud piece of shit. I'm a very loud person. But these people have been very nice. And they haven't given me any flack. But I'm giving them their space. I don't want to get up in their space because they are doing what they want to do. But I'm also out here counter-protesting without a doubt. And this is what you're seeing. I'm reporting what I see, and I see nice people. These are nice people. I'm not seeing any riots. I'm not gonna construe the truth. That's why I don't edit anything. I do no edits when I do these. And everybody's being very kind. I'll give them props. Everybody's being sweet. I will say, though, if I did wear my MAGA hat, I'm pretty sure I get a couple people trying to hurt me, but that's neither here nor there. But no, I'm not out here to say that these people are dumb. These people are probably very intelligent people. I think that these people are intelligent. Do I agree with their politics? Hell no. I think a lot of them believe that that democratic socialism is a good idea, and I'm like, I'm going to protest that. What I'm here is to protest bad ideas. And I'm actually, the No Kings thing, I think it's cool that people do it. I really think it's cool that people are doing this. But, misconstrue, yes, that's the word, Mr. Eagle. Look, but I don't want people to misconstrue what I'm doing here. Yes, am I a bit of a troll? Am I a bit of a comedian? Yes. That is what I am in the nature of my being. I'm a comedian at heart. I'm not even, look, I'm not a political guy. But I do actually enjoy going to these types of rallies. I think they're kind of interesting. It's interesting. It's a social. I like to see what people do in a group because you know me. I'm anti-group. I'm anti-group. I'm not a group guy. That's why I'm sitting over here rather than sitting in the crowd. Because I do want to give these people their space. I want to give these people their space. But I'm very anti-group. I will observe a group from the distance. And look, I'm right here on the second track. I'm nowhere near these people. We got 57 votes though for Vance 2028. Let's see. But yeah, no, I think that everybody's doing here is it is what they do, and I got to give them props for it. They've they're doing the best they can to believe what they believe. And like I said, I'm as much of a counter-protester as I am. I'm not here to interfere with anybody. I do love Joe Biden, though. I'm not gonna lie. I have a bit of a chubby for Joe. Chubbies for Joe Biden. I'm a chubby boy, dude, and I got a chubby right now for Joe Biden. But at the end of the day, I'm a comedian more than I don't. While I am counter-protesting, I'm not gonna die on this hill. I'm not gonna die on this hill saying, "Oh, you guys are so terrible." No, you're not. You guys are great. You guys are great. I think you're wrong, but you're great. I know you guys think I'm wrong, and I don't know what you guys think about me. I don't really care, though. I really care. At the end of the day, I know who I am. I know you guys know who you are. But yeah, no, I see peaceful protests, absolutely, and I'm happy about that. That's actually what I was hoping to see. I am glad that there's no violence. Like, that's the one thing I want. I want people to express themselves. Just the way that even though I was doing a comedy bit, I was expressing myself, and surprisingly, nobody gave me any flack. If they did, though, that's their right to give me flack. I want them to give me flack. I think it's funny. It makes for good comedy. But you could find comedy in anything. You can find comedy in protests. And look, I'm like George Carlin in a lot of ways. I don't like groups. George Carlin and I had one thing in common: our disdain of groups. But I will say I do have to go here in a little bit, you guys. I'm going to find my boy TJ, though, real quick. I'm going to mute the microphone so that way I'm not getting any copyright stuff here. Because they're playing music, I don't want to get any copyright strikes or anything, so I'm just going to mute the microphone real quick. We escaped, you guys. We escaped. But yeah, no, that was pretty funny. I got more important things to do today, but that was pretty cool. Got a little bit of Joe Biden love out there. Put some Joe Biden love out in the ether. So the reason that I had it on mute was because they were playing copyrighted music. So I don't know if you noticed that there was a speaker system. So there was a speaker system that was playing. And because I didn't want to get any copyright strikes, I just muted my mic because that made life a little bit easier. But yeah, I got some more important things to attend to. Look, I love doing a little bit of a counter protest. It makes for fun show content. No, I'm not. Irony is I'm actually not against what these people are doing. I'm not really. Here's the thing. You can disagree with somebody and not be against them. This is the thing that we've lost our way on this. And it is not. Look, if you don't believe what I believe, I don't see you as the enemy. I see you as a person who believes something different than me. It's where the line is drawn, man. But that's where the line is drawn. And but yeah, no, that whole protest thing is stupid. But look, I mean, the three branches of government prevent a dictator anyway. So it's like, even if he was, you know, Trump is not the cause; he's the symptom, right? The Democrats can't take any responsibility because they became so bloody unpopular. You know what I mean? The Democrats became so unpopular that people wanted to vote for Trump. That's the irony of all this. But no, it makes for good show fodder. I look at. I'm not gonna lie. I'm doing this for selfish reasons, and I could care less if it's selfish. But yeah, those protests are hilarious, man. I was surprised that my dad's probably down here doing. I wouldn't be surprised if my dad was down here at Seven Devils. Well, he's usually, whenever he's in town, he's usually here at the old Seven Devils. So we'll see if he's down here. But yeah, dude, I didn't see my boy TJ down here. I think he know he might have been having some car troubles and stuff. So I hope he's doing all right. As worse as they are inexperienced. Let's see if my pops is over here real quick. Oh, a sweet dog. All right. Oop. I'm gonna go over here real quick. But yeah, I got better things to do. I gotta give me a few seconds. I gotta find where I parked. Parked somewhere. Oh, there's where I parked. Whew. Get in the car real quick. Oh, here we go. Woo! Anyway, that was an interesting thing. Woo! But, oh, that was fun. That's fun, you know, and honestly, like, really, it's just I have a disagreement with these people. The irony is people want to paint people who disagree as villains, and I'm not. I'm not trying to paint these people as villains, and if anybody wants to paint me as a villain, I'm used to it. But yeah. But no, I got better things to do than go to these stupid protests. I think these stupid protests are, like, you know, believe what you want, everybody. Believe what you want. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, oh, I realize I got kind of a unibrow going on real quick. Hold on. Oh, everybody say bye to Mr. Eagle, man. He's out. But But yeah, no, overall, I'm just a guy who believes what he believes in. I like to protest. I like to counter protest. It's fun. It's addicting. I try not to do it too often, but I felt this was big enough to where there actually weren't as many people as I thought there were going to be. That's, because everybody was hyping this up as if it was going to be some big old thing. And to be honest, it wasn't as big. It really wasn't that big. I'm not going to lie. I really thought this was kind of a small get together more than anything. But like I said, I'm not here to damn anybody. I'm not here to shut anybody up. If anything, I'm just here to, I'm gonna, say that I agree with them. I'm not gonna lie to them and say I'm all for what they believe in. Hell no. If anything, I'm just really, I realize I got a unibrow going on real quick. There we go. Oh, I guess I don't have much of a brow anyway, so. Whew. Yeah, I don't really have much for eyebrows, do I? But yeah, no. Overall, at the end of the day, I'm just as peaceful as anybody else, And I think counter protesting is fantastic, even on the opposite foot. You know what I mean? If there's leftists who want to go to like a Trump rally and counter protest, I think that's great. I think that's fabulous. I'll tell you what, though, if I would have wore my MAGA hat, how much do you think people would try to harass me on that one? I think that's the difference, I look like a soy boy at the end of the day. And, all right, you guys, I do got to head out. I'll catch you all later. Thank you all for being so awesome. I'm going to go see my family, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Later, guys. Actually, I could probably keep this in here now that I think about it. Let's try to... Oh, hold on. All right, you guys, but I do want to thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I'm going to actually get the heck out of here because I do have, like I said, more important things to do than go to a no Kangs protest. But, yeah, that was pretty much it, man. We'll end the voting here. Pretty much 50-50 split between Vance 2028 and everything else. But thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. And to all of you, have a great night. To my buddy, Mr. Eagle, I want to say thank you to him. Good dude, good man. But at the end of the day, it's like, if people want to disagree with me, I'm totally fine with it. I ain't gonna stop them. But at the end of the day, I hope nobody tries to stop me for disagreeing with them either. But look, there's no clean report. People were being nice, probably because I blended in. And yeah. Hold on. All right, everybody. I'm gonna head out. I'll see you guys a little bit later. And yep. But yeah, have fun. Stay as be as you want to be. That's my main motto at all this. Yeah. Hopefully I encourage people to counter protest. I think a lot of these people are probably socialists and communists at the end of the day. And I'm just out there disputing their ideas, like the way they're disputing some of mine. A lot of these people hate capitalism. I'm a defender of capitalism. I think capitalism takes more people out of poverty than puts it in. I think that socialism and communism create poverty. But yeah, I got better things to do than go to a anti-Trump protest. I mean, I got more important matters to attend to. So thank you guys. If you guys can, drop a super chat. Helps the channel grow, but I appreciate y'all and have a good day.